If we have this equation for hyperbola, y minus 1 quantity squared over 16 minus x plus 2 quantity squared over 4 equals 1. So again, this is a standard form of equation for hyperbola. So for the orientation, i-identify ano po ba yung term na nauna? Anong variable yung nauna? So in the first term, you see here y. So meaning, this hyperbola is vertical. Okay, vertical naman po siya. Since y yung nauna. And then for the center, the coordinate of the center, that is based on your x and y sa numerator. So you have here, for the x coordinate, you'll base dun sa may x. So x plus 2, again, plus 2, so meaning in the coordinate, it is the opposite or the negative. And then for y minus 1, meaning that is yung positive 1. So for the center, we have negative 2 and 1. Okay? And then for the value of a is always on the first term. So this is your a squared, this is your b squared. So therefore, a is equal to 4 since 4 is the square root of 16. And then for b, the square root of 4, we have 2. And then for c, we compute square root of a squared plus b squared. So we have 16 plus 4. That gives us square root of 20, or simply 2 is square root of 5. So we write here 2 is square root of 5. Okay? So for the center, we based on the numerator. For the orientation, we based on the variable on the first term. For a, we get the square root of 16. A squared is always on your first term when it comes to hyperbola. Okay? Kasi ang kailangan lang po nating tandaan na relationship when it comes to hyperbola is that c is greater than a. Other than that, there's no relationship between a and b. Kahit po mas malaki ang a, kahit mas maliit siya, or kahit equal sila, that's okay. So a is always on your first term. So square root of 16, that is for a. Square root of 4, that is for b. And then by solution, we get 2 square root of 5 for c. Now, we'll be solving for the coordinates of your vertices. So, vertices, those are, if your hyperbola is vertical, ibig sabihin you have vertical transverse axis. Technically, your hyperbola looks like this. Yan, ganyan siya, up and down. So, from the center, going to your A, your vertices, you are going up and going down. So, from negative 2, 1, ang magbabago pong coordinate ay yung y coordinate. So, we have negative 2, akyat tayo ng 4, that is 1 plus 4. We have negative 2, 5. Okay, umakyat tayo ng 4 na units pataas. Same goes with pababa. We have negative 2, 1. That will be 1 minus 4. That gives us negative 2, negative 3. So, 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So, that is for the point below. And then, for your co-vertices, that is the endpoints of your conjugate axis. So, nandito naman siya, horizontal naman siya. Since the orientation of your hyperbola is vertical, perpendicular po doon ng ating conjugate axis. So, pag horizontal, the movement is left to right. Left and right. Okay? So, from negative 2, 1, ang magbabago naman pong coordinate is the x-coordinate. So, from negative 2, 1, we have negative 2 plus 2. So, negative 2 plus 2, that is equal to 0, copy the same y-coordinate. And then, for the left side, negative 2 minus 2, that gives us negative 4, 1. So, from negative 2, 1, punta ka ng right side, add ka ng 2, nag-0 tayo, negative 2 plus 2. And then, punta ka sa left side, subtract tayo, negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. Okay? Copy lang yung y-coordinate. And then, for your foci, so, collinear with A, nandito po siya sa taas at nandito sa baba. Those are your C. So, copy lang yung negative 2, we have 1, mag-add tayo ng 2 square root of 5 kasi pataas tayo. So, that is 1 plus 2 is square root of 5. So, ganyan po natin siya isusulat. Kasi hindi tayo exact dito. Then, the other term, pababa naman, we have negative 2, 1 minus 2 square root of 5. Okay? So, saka na lang natin kunin ang exact value kapag tayo ay mag-graph na. So, these are your coordinates for the foci. For your transverse axis, rather, vertical hyperbola means vertical transverse axis. Ito po yun. That is from A to A. So, vertical, we represent the equation with x equals, what is your x coordinate? -2. Okay? And then for your conjugate axis, ito naman siya, yung B to B. So, horizontal siya, we represents the equation with y equals, ano yung y coordinate natin? 1. So, y equals 1. If we try drawing this hyperbola, okay, pag tinry po natin siya i-drawing, let's say we have, drawing natin siya dito sa side na to. Okay. So, let's say we have this. Cartesian plane. Okay, so the center is at -2, 1. So, we have -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the x-axis, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 for your y-axis. So, if the center is at -2, 1, ito po siya. Nandito po siya sa point na ito. And then, since tayo ay vertical, from -2, 1, pataas tayo ng 4. So, -2, 1, -2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, this is our point. Okay? We have -2, 5, and pababa naman tayo ng 4. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have -2. I'm sorry, 4 lang pala. Sorry, hindi 5. So, we have 4 units down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, we have here -2, -3. Okay? Again, 4 units up, 4 units down. And then, for your conjugate or dun sa covertices natin, endpoints ng conjugate axis, left and right side naman by 2 units lang. So, from this point, the center, okay, lagay mo pala natin A, we have 1, 2. So, we have 0, 1, and then we have 1, 2 on the left side, we have -4, 1 for our B. Okay? And then for your foci, kanina sabi ko, computing natin yung exact value, 2 square root of 5 is approximately 4.47. Okay, so 1 plus 4.47, that gives us 5.47. Dun sa kabila, 1 minus 4.47, that gives us -3.53 if I'm not mistaken. Okay? So, if ever malito, minanual ko lang siya. So, basta it's -3 point something. Kasi, ang isusubtract natin ay 4.47. Okay? So, we have 1 plus 4.47, that is 5.47. And then, 1 minus 4.47, that is approximately -3 point something. Okay? So, pag pinlat natin siya in your Cartesian plane, or siguro ito ay 3.47. Okay. Lagay na lang natin. 3.47. Parehasin natin. Okay? So, from your center, you are going up by 5.47. So, lagpas lang siya sa 5 ng kaunti in between 5 and 6. So, this is your foci. And then, the other one is lagpas sa 3. Nasa gitna ng 3 and 4. So, nandito siya sa almost malapit lang kasi kung mapapansin nyo, yung ating 20 tapos 16, halos magkalapit lang sila ng value. Okay? 4 and 4 point something. So, pag dinrawing natin ang hyperbola na ito, this is your auxiliary rectangle following the pattern of your vertices and covertices. Okay? So, ito yung auxiliary rectangle. If we draw your asymptote, sana ay tumama na. Okay. I think I got it correctly right now. So, ganyan po siya. Extend lang natin to. This is your positive asymptote, tapos yung isa, kabila negative. Okay. Okay. Again, dadaan siya dun sa ating vertex ng auxiliary rectangle, dadaan siya sa center. Okay. So, pag dinrawing natin yung ating hyperbola, this is your vertex, dadaan siya dito. So, ito lang yung susundin yung curve eh. Ito. Yan. Pag ganyan siya. Okay. Yung kabila, dito naman sa pababa. Okay. So, your hyperbola probably looks like this. So, again, this is the example for vertical hyperbola.